But yes, so you've been picked up and taken around. But yeah, even for you, and maybe you feel a bit strange about it because essentially you basically the building that formerly known as Tate Modern, you've woken up with a ton of tattoos that you didn't know you had and don't know who's done them or how you got them essentially, and they're all on your insides.
I feel like I have gone to this place that I have heard mentioned called Ibiza. I've got a raging headache and there's these drawings on me. I've heard this is a thing you humans like to do. There's like a party and then people draw on each other.
Well, these look like prehistoric cave art.
It looks very primitive, indeed. So,
is there anything around that tells us what the date is? A discarded newspaper, perhaps, or
good question.
a magazine or something?
Why don't you roll a awareness check for me?
Because I'm rubbish at rolling.
I know.
Oh look, I've rolled a 10.
A 10, so you succeed.
I have genuinely rolled a 10. I didn't make it up.
No, I know.
Great, it's a 10.
Very good. So yes, you conveniently look around, and there is you look at the iPad that has the being formerly known as a Tate Modern on it, and in the little corner it says 5 minutes past midnight on the day I think it is.
Right, okay. So it's not suddenly like the 1800s or something.
No. Like, yeah, you've not travelled in time.
Okay.
Per se. Well, you've travelled in time, but not like maybe a couple of hours.
Right. Okay. So we've just travelled in logic.
Yes, that mysterious science fiction thing, logic.
Yes. Okay. Good. Probably not good.
Is Iron Maiden single playing 5 minutes past midnight in the background?
I've got a funny feeling I know why there's a lot of clapping.
Oh dear.
But Arthur doesn't, because that's not common knowledge yet. So let's just plough on regardless, shall we? I'm very intrigued by all this clapping.
Well, the clapping's coming from up here, but I think we need to look for some kind of information board to see where we need to go.
As you say that, the screen of the iPad starts to flicker and change as I try to portray that to you. And I don't know whether it works or not. What would I need to roll for that to portray an information map board?
A map board? I would say... Ooh, let me look at your skills, everyone.
Enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm.
Knowledge of useless things.
I was going to say knowledge of useless things, or MacGyver skills, because you're trying to get something and then try and show it on the map, perhaps. We've already done navigation, so
I would say knowledge of useless things because it's myself, and the only thing that is useful about this map is the fact that it's about myself and nothing else in the world.
All right, I'll let you have that, even though I know it's a +1 to you. So it's 2d6 +1. Let me know what you get.
I've just lost one of the dice across the floor. But they both come out as 3, so it's a 6 +1 is 7.
Oh, a mixed success. All right. So what happens is that you ping, and a really cute 3D model comes up of the Tate, and conveniently you manage to triangulate where the clapping's from, and you sort of point, and it is down a corridor, whatever one I said, like, let's go right. And you sort of pings, but unfortunately it takes up a lot of your energy. Your battery life goes down to 50%. So you might need to find some other source of power to keep you, if you're going to keep mobile and stuff, because you are aware that it's quite a struggle for you to keep moving from place to place, shifting your consciousness, so to speak. But
and as it comes up, you just hear a kind of from the screen. Then the image appears and it flashes at this point.
Yeah. And
you just it's not the room that you kind of expect to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a room off to us. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying not to look at your face. So yeah, it's a room. It's a
storm.
Oh, very cool. So there is so it pings, and you both Maud and Arthur. You look up and you can see. Yeah, you can actually hear the clapping, and now you can hear sort of a little as if somebody's giving a small talk, in one of the halls, one of the big art gallery halls, down one of the ways. What would you guys like to do?
I think we should investigate this.
Definitely. Totter off down the hall.
All right.
Mm.
Are you moving quickly?
I would say a speed walk.
All right. How about everybody make for me a move quickly roll, including you, the being that is the Tate Modern, and let me know what people get.
10.
6.
That's failure. Can't see it, David.
Mark, you know these dice.
Is it 2 6s? Yeah.
That looks like 2 6s to me. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's some dice 2 6s. I like these dice. I'm going to use these more often. And
Yeah.
that's with a minus, and then I have to have a minus
Minus
2
2.
because I'm horrible at moving. But that's 10.
That's 10. So that's 2 successes, 1 failure,
2 successes and a maud.
and a Maud. Absolutely.
I mauded it again.
Yeah. Maybe Maud, you're sort of getting there, and maybe you realise your pigeons or your birds, are behind you. And you're like, oh, and of course they're tootling along and they're not moving as quickly, so you're maybe left behind a little bit. But you
I have
catch
to go
up.
back for them.
Yeah, maybe you drop one, and you're like, oh no, Cedric! And you pick Cedric up and put him in your pocket. Anyway, you do get there eventually, but you have made a little bit of noise getting there. But you think overall you've done all right. You get to 2 great big oak doors, which I know is very traditional in the modern Tate Modern. But there's a cracked jar. The doors are cracked ajar. They are ajar, cracked open. I don't know words. There's a gap. Okay, there's a gap which you can look through. There are sconces all the way forward as well, and you can peek in, see what is happening. And inside, it is a vast, huge sort of chamber, decked out with various different sort of, I'd say, different size seats, but none's bigger than like a child's, like an under 5's stool essentially. And on every single stool is sat all manner of children's toys. You have in one corner you have a load of action men and Professor X's. Mr. X. I can't remember what he's called. The evil dude in that. You have on the other side. You have various big walking dolls. You also have pull toys or whatever, and they're all sort of sitting there waiting silently. It looks very much like a council chamber, one may say. You can also see dotted around this chamber, there looks to be several different sort of bears, all of different colours, all with different symbols on their chests. They're all sort of standing there, each with like a spear made out of candy canes, or with a sharpened edge to it. And every so often they sort of like on the floor now, and they always sort of say, Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us. As the various council sessions come to a close. At the top, in between the different... I can't look at David now. You can see there's the different rows of chairs that they're all facing each other. You say several rows on one side, several rows on the other side, and they're sort of facing each other. In the middle, you see on almost like a little stage, across almost like two podiums essentially, facing each other on a very precarious sort of like little books and little bits of stuff that are basically made up because both these speakers talking across each other and sort of discussing it really passionately are quite short, small plastic dolls. On one side, you have a plastic doll with long blonde hair in a beautifully pink fitness activewear outfit. On her feet, you see very pink shoes with almost like suckers on, and she has suckers on her hand as well. She also has like a plastic molded headset with a cassette player on her side, looking like very 90s, very sort of cute. And she's doing a lot of hand waving and sort of talk to the hand and then doing various active poses essentially. On the other side, activewear, exactly. On the other side, you see a less glamorous looking plastic doll. Similar sort of shape, similar sort of hairdo, etc., but not as glamorous. Just like very generic clothing, almost like a bit more of an off-brand plastic doll. On the back, you can see making out the words Stacy, but you're not entirely sure, essentially. So you have two dolls sort of talking at each other, and they're talking very passionately in very high-pitched voices, because again, I'd say you're quite far away from them looking through this door, like almost Brady Bunch style, and you can hear they're all sort of passionately arguing at each other whilst you have these bear guards around, and everyone's listening in awe, and then every so often they're like...
Arthur leans across to Maud and says, I didn't know better. I'd say this was some kind of meeting between female stereotype Barbie and cheap imitation Barbie.
Can you roll for me, pedantic, please?
That's an 11 plus 2, 13.
You're quite correct. Indeed it is.
Well,
As the battery starts dying, you hear, come on, Barbie, let's go party. Slowly fade out as the iPad dies.
Maud, hearing Arthur's pedantry, is going to ramble back at him to confuse him of what he's looking at.
Ooh, so what are you saying?
I'm going to tell him that whilst he may feel that these are stereotypes, that in fact this is clearly a meeting of high intellectual beings.
Yes, roll baffling people with ramblings, Maud.
5.
Ooh, that is a failure. So whilst...
Arthur's like, I'm sorry, Maud. Lorna disagrees with you.
Plus 1 is 6. Is that still a fail?
Still a failure, unfortunately.
Lorna disagrees with you very much, Maud.
So, this is very interesting. So, as Arthur's leaned in to whisper to you, you're not used to this pedantry business going on. So, Maud, you sort of go, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. And then Arthur goes, well, Lorna thinks differently. Two things happen. Mostly because you both just shouted at each other in a very quiet moment whilst the proceedings were coming to a brief gap. You realise as you look back into the room, every single head of every one of these dolls, every one of these toys, has sort of turned slowly towards you.
Has their body stayed facing the same way and the head's just...
Yeah, it's basically like... But on top of that, you conveniently, Arthur, brought out Lorna, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is that as you pull out this doll from this thing, from your backpack, you feel this doll shift and turn round in your hands. Like the head turns around. I know Cabbage Patch Kids don't work like that, but this one does. Turns its head all the way around and goes, excuse me, could you let me go? I'm actually late for my appointment. I also don't like being in that backpack. It's very uncomfortable, strictly speaking.
How long has he been keeping you in there, Lorna?
Oh, ages. You know, I wouldn't have minded being back in my box, because I'm more collectible like that. But apparently, the box, it got a little bit of it, and it goes on like this. But it's also going at a speed that's very similar to Arthur's. But also, everyone is now watching the door.
The chat has just informed us that the talk after this on the con is a horror-themed talk. So,
warming you up, folks. Don't worry.
Segue. It's a segue in progress.
As you're sort of stood there, as Lorna is speaking, you hear a poof, 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 as the guard of the Care Bears comes. And they go, Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us. Halt! Who goes there? Toys R Us. And they open the door a little bit. So he goes, yes, come in. And Noah's better. Toys R Us. And you see
Can you stop smacking those spears against the floor? It's giving me terrible tummy ache.
Ooh,
every time they smack their cane on the floor, my bird's just like, ooh, ooh, just fluttering all around.
Oh, okay. First of all, David, can you make for me interacting with non-building beings, please?
No, I can't.
Please.
No, as in I can't. I got a 3.
Oh, they ignore you completely.
No surprise.
No surprise. The Care Bears will usher you guys in with the thing, and they'll make you stand in the little box that is in between the rows, and you see everyone sort of whispering close, like going, "Oh, we don't have new people here. Oh, I hope they've got tickets. Oh."
Can I? How do I enter? Obviously, because it's not a room that I've been aware of before within myself. Does it suddenly become? Do I suddenly become aware of it?
For ease, one of these two has an external battery with the correct adapter to plug into that iPad, and you're brought in through that way. Yes,
I'm okay with that.
Yes, for ease. And yeah,
In the Pixel movies, I'm like the Pixel face on the Pixel
you're
movies
like
now.
You know what? You're like a modern Tamagotchi. How's that? But yes, and as you're brought into the room, the being that was formerly known as Tate Modern, you suddenly like, oh yeah, this room. Yes, I remember this room. This is the room that had the elephant dung in it that one time. Oh, terrible. But
Arthur, can you stop playing Snake on me, please?
the leader.
I have better uses for my time.
The leader of the Barbies, of Work It Out Barbie, turns around and goes, "What is the meaning of this intrusion? Have you come to help us with the motion?" Poses.
You are inside me. You are intruding on me. I am unaware of you. Therefore, explain yourselves.
And they sort of look, and they go back to Maud and Arthur and goes, "Well, it's quite simple, really. Everybody left. We had people here for our first exhibition way back when, and, well, we discovered an artifact that made us alive. But only we would be alive and playing and stuff when there was children around and people who appreciated us." And you can see Opposition Stacy, as we'll call her, sort of fold her plastic arms, sort of, because they're molded. And it's like, but they left. They left because, well, it was the end of the summer holidays and they went back to schools and nobody wanted to see a bunch of washed up toys. And well, people just stopped coming, and then, well, the artifact disappeared. And now we are stuck here. No one to play with us, no one to appreciate our worth, our value, our impact. And now we are just here. And until we find the artifact, we can't leave this place. We don't mean to be here. And Stacey sort of gestures towards the iPad. We don't want to be here anymore. But if we leave this building, well, then we cease to be. It will be like a death for us. And in your hands, Arthur, Lorna is sort of looks and goes, "Well, actually, I was about to give a talk on how it's important, but obviously, we're not allowed to move quickly, so to speak. So I had to bide my time. Hitch a lift."
So, are you suggesting, says Arthur to Lorna, that it will be of benefit to you if I help? Looks at Work It Out Barbie and just goes, them.
Yes, it's
that goes against everything that my brown persona believes in.
Lorna puts a slightly chubby, soft felt hand on your shoulder, or on your knee. She probably props it down, and she goes, "I know, but there's something called character development. I'm hoping you get towards the end of this one shot. So the way you get that is if you help and give in at this one moment." But also, there will be something like if you're able to help, there will be something for you. This artifact. If you're able to take the artifact, maybe you can get it valued and stuff. Because once we get this artifact out of here, get it retrieved, we can leave. Well,
do you remember where it was last seen?
Work it out, Barbie turns to you, goes, not where. Well, it's not a. We call it an artifact, but it's a bit more than that. And they conveniently an overhead, old school projector turns on, and the silhouette of what is clearly the original Ken doll appears. And on it, it's like, artifact? ? Now,
Arthur
pulls down the screen.
Arthur advances to work it out, Barbie, and says, you haven't by any chance amongst the people in this room got a scientist Barbie and an archaeologist Barbie, have you?
Wait, and then they turn over to the expert panel, and you have NASA Barbie, you have all the different variations of Barbies that I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Name a Barbie, she's there.
Some are just holding beakers.
You know what? Even work from home Barbie is in on a laptop.
Are you suggesting
Barbie is there on a small little iPad and like, I don't recognize that iPad. That's not part of me.
Go for it, Arthur.
Are you suggesting, says Arthur in consultation with the chat, that this is some kind of not the you get an artifact trope?
I don't know why. I think that Stacey goes, what chat? Look, we know it's a bit stereotypical, this artifact having to be a man, but literally, we've narrowed it down. It's not the Dream Camper van. It's not any of the siblings, you know, Chelsea, Stacey, and the other one, what we don't talk about. It has to be Ken. It has to be the original Ken.
So the artifact is a Ken doll, because I misheard you and thought you said Kindle and thought that would be a very strange
that
artifact.
That would be amazing. What is a Kindle?
Hold me up higher, Arthur. Hold me up higher, Maud. Let me see what they are talking about. The camera on the iPad is not good at this distance. What are they talking about here?
Arthur's like, oh, sorry, I've got you on front facing. Hang on.
Yeah, you're just like getting the chins.
Don't poke me so hard.
The chins.
Can I attach the iPad to one of my birds?
That sounds, yeah. Tell you what, that's a MacGyver skill. Go for it.
Apparently,
no.
Super Angry Shrimp has turned up.
Hey.
Apparently, he thought you were saying Kendall as well. So,
well, like the artifact of the giant mint cake.
Yeah. All the sugar with mint and chocolate.
Sorry, it's clearly the accent. The artifact for those in the chat is a Ken doll, i.e., Barbie's partner, ex-partner. Well, we've not got to that point yet. Male friend, sure. So sorry, Sarah, Maud. What was the roll?
So including the -2, I got 0.
Oh no. Okay, so
no.
Cedric isn't happy.
Couldn't be worse.
Could not be worse. What I was saying, so everyone has 10 hit points in this game. You take 2 points of damage as Cedric just sort of scratches you, and you drop the iPad with the being formerly known as the that's the one, Tate Modern. I was going to say Modern Tate. As a result of that, so not only do you take damage, Maud, Tate Modern, your front face, the camera that you're looking out of, so that rear camera is slightly grubby.
Looking at the floor.
No, it's slightly grubby. It's got a bit of bird stuff on it. So
it's still. So I was going to say, has he not just dropped me face down? So the camera is literally just staring at the floor now.
Yeah, it is. And a pigeon comes over, Simon, and is like, and then
just pecking at the screen.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a time when I used to have security cameras outside until someone started knocking them all off. I remember this lady decided that the birds didn't like them and started messing with all my security. Can someone stop this pigeon? You have never been this close to a pigeon before. It is not a pleasant experience. I am seeing things that I never wished I'd ever seen in my life.
Arthur, with his +1 in animal whispering, will have a word with the pigeon.
Go for it. Yes.
It's a 3. +2, +1. It's a 4.
The pigeon looks at you, and if a pigeon could roll his eyes, it does. It rolls one eye and rolls the other eye, and then back and forth. Suddenly,
Told you, pigeons are weird. Can you make it stop doing this? I'm feeling discombobulated.
the door on the other side of this room bursts open, and the camera, if it was at your heights, would look up and then not see anything, and then look down as a small, looking around the room for anything, any toys, a small pudsey bear dressed as the 10th Doctor comes running in, and it's like, we must find it soon. It is almost dawn. And it's like, and so work it out, Barbie. Forget the role play because I realise we've got 34 minutes left. It says she will organise a crack team to help you if you will find this object for them, and you'll be handsomely rewarded. Yes, there we go. So moving on to Act 2.
I will, says Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur says that he will promise to help work it out, Barbie, with the task of retrieving the artifact, as long as in return she promises to open a Cabbage Patch gallery, which is bigger than the Barbie gallery.
Is the Doctor being chased by some weird people from the future?
Oh, good question. Make an awareness check for me, see if you can tell. Yes, for you. Yes, I got 9 on that. 9 on that. Fantastic. We'll come to you in a second. So for Arthur, I want you. Hold it. Do pedantic again.
That's 5 + 2, 7.
7. Mixed success. She says, we'll put it to a vote. And if there is a slight majority, we'll consider it in a committee. And then probably not do it. But we will. I have heard your concerns. And we appreciate everything that the Cabbage Patch Kids have done for us. And you see at this point Lorna roll her eyes as well. Being previously known as a Tate Modern, you look and you can see very, very tiny little toy tanks that have been mocked up to be Daleks, but they're so small and insignificant that they're not there's no relevance to this plot. They're very mysterious.
Is the commander a one-eyed person screaming about the One Ring?
Sadly not. Sadly not. They're more talking about I can't remember where the Daleks are from now, and it doesn't matter for this story. Maud, is there anything you'd like to do before you go on this trip to find the mysterious Ken doll?
Well, I'm so shocked at Arthur and Lorna's suggestion of a Cabbage Patch section that I'd do a backflip.
Yes, absolutely. Roll backflip. Do a backflip. 2d6.
Oh, 7 + 2, 9.
9. That is a mixed success.
Move things on quickly, just because I know the time. Can I use my knowledge of useless things to have quickly a glance at the Ken doll and go, I have seen kids with that before.
Yeah.
I think I might know where this might be.
Perfect. Yeah, roll that thing for me, please. So the backflip, I mean, is a beautiful execution. You land and you feel a bit of a crack in your back. But you're fine. But do it again, it's not really great. That's a 3 on the 3 in total, David. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a very generic plastic-looking model. Like you swear you see.
It can be a 4. I can make it a 4.
I mean, that doesn't help. You go, there's Ken over there, and you realise it's just another generic Action Man figure. And maybe you point to all the male presenting plastic dolls going, there, and they're not.
Look, Ken. They're all Ken. Everybody's a Ken. You have a Ken. You have a Ken.
You're a Ken.
Everybody.
You're a Ken. I am Kenicus. Yes. Anyway, a crack team of toys is rounded up. You have both Work It Out Barbie and the Stacy doll, stay-at-home Stacy, opposition Stacy. You also have you have all the you have Lorna, your Cabbage Patch Kid, who knows a bit more about the details of where like what to search for this artifact, perhaps. You have any number of those specialist Barbies in the back. If you wish to use them, just say their names, they will appear. And you also are surrounded by the guards of the Care Bears. You have one that has a strawberry, one that has a banana, and one that has a pineapple. I think that's what they have in their chest. If not, I don't care. It's my story. It's my world.
Excellent. I'd like to team up with Critical Role Barbie, please.
Oh, what a shame. She's busy on Thursday nights.
Well, it's Friday, so that's all right.
Ah, yes, fine, easy enough. So you have this crack team, and they're basically going to do whatever you tell them to do. So my question to you, my crack team of people, going to find this mysterious artifact of the Kendall, our ex machina machine thingy. What are you going to do? How are you going to track down Mr. Ken?
Just been told that Ken is actually a Karen, so.
Oh.
I'd like to search for evidence of where Ken might have been.
All right.
He's all here. Everyone's a Ken. Everybody is Ken.
There must be traces of Ken.
There must be traces of Ken. For you, Mark, Arthur, please roll for me knowledge of useless things.
Do better than I did.
7.
A big success. All right, we'll come to you in a second. Maud, or the being previously known as the Tate Modern. What are you doing to help, or thinking of doing stuff?
I'm going to use the fashion skill and try and find Ken's wardrobe closet and see if he's picking out outfits over there somewhere.
I like it. So maybe you're using the fashion sense, going, that Hawaiian shirt is a particular brand found in this particular section. It would only be found here and here and here. I like that. Please roll fashion sense.
I got a total of 3.
Well, 3, so that is a fail. I liked it.
Really bizarre.
There is no Ken in this strata.
Go for it, being formerly known as a Tate Modern.
I'm going to do fluff-wise. I've now managed to gain access to speakers within the room, and I'm going to speak to everybody who I think is a Ken and ask them all, "Are you Ken?" So I'm going to interact with non-building beings.
Yes, please.
And ask them, "Are you Ken?" And all you just hear is 100 different voices, slightly out of time with each other, say, "Are you Ken?"
Are you Ken? Are you Ken?
And you know what?
Or even creepy. Are you my Ken?
Oh.
Are you my Ken? And you know what?
What?
I rolled an 11.
Whoa! A success. Excellent. So we have a fail, mixed success, and all of that in mind. So
these are the Kens you're looking for.
They are. Wow! You guys are on fire. So unfortunately, Maud,
Obi-Wan comes across and goes, "These are the Kens you are looking for."
Unfortunately for you, Maud, when you're looking at the Ken doll, you're like, okay, yes, we can find if this fabric matches here. But you look at it really closely. Annoyingly, Ken is shirtless. He's wearing a pair of terrible, boring pants. This is like the last scene on last sighting of Ken wearing boring pants, walking out of the museum. No, not the museum. Like one of the galleries, essentially. Generic Ken doll wearing generic pants. So not much to go on. Arthur, your knowledge of useless things. With that 7, you start getting a bit more about the Ken doll's personality. You start to listen to the history, perhaps, of what was he like? No, really, what was he like? You get that he was a bit of a pushover, perhaps, bit of a nothing, but nice enough. No personality. Like, you look around, all these other Barbies, all these other Stacy dolls, they all have a personality. They all have like a sense, like a drive and stuff. Whenever you ask, well, describe this Kendall? Like, what was he like? Well, they go, well, he was there. He was all right. He was nice. So you get the sense that you're looking for a boring plastic toy, but it is something about it, some sort of unique thing. So you are able to suss, like, if you can find out what that unique thing, that is what hooks you onto it. Meanwhile, the being formerly known as a Tate Modern, you do a thorough investigation of narrowing it down, and let me tell you, the being formerly known as Tate Modern, you're pretty sure the Ken doll is not in this chamber. But you...
So, guys, I've asked everybody here, and Ken is not here.
No. But you are aware that there are obviously other jurisdictions, other associations, authorities within, well, yourself, in the building, the museum now termed as Barbie's Dream House. So if you think to yourself, well, you sort of match up where they say these authorities are, and you find sort of one area which is sort of blacked out a little bit from your memory banks, perhaps, and it just says, well, we must never go there. People whisper about it, go, oh yes, we can't go there. Woolworths. There's a little shiver that goes up people's spines when they say the words Woolworths.
It says something about Woolworths and the Forbidden Candy Store. There's a scoop symbol with a cross through it saying,
"Thou shalt not pick and mix."
Yes. So you have a vague idea, like a location. You have a sense of what not to look for. Like, you've narrowed it down to avoid. You know what the Ken doll was last wearing. Good job, team.
not much apparent.
We're going to have to do some kind of archaeological dig in the pick and mix, because that's going. The sides are going to need propping up in like the chocolate raisin one, or there's going to be some kind of
Even.
Yeah.
So it's the plan. The plan is then to go to mysterious Woolworths. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so. We could each
strata in the pick and mix.
We could each pick like a section of sweets and dig in them to see if he's in those ones.
They usually do come in layers. You get like two. You get the bottom row of bins, then the row above them, and then you get the big jugs that come down into them as well. So
yeah, he's swimming in there somewhere.
Yes. So let's move on to. So you are at the room that has been. It has Woolworths, but at the same side it says. It looks like it'd been locked up, and it says "Don't dead open inside" or something like that, like on the side. But easily enough, somebody do me a MacGyver skill. Actually, anyone can do that for me.
I'm a building. I can't interact with these things. What have I been doing?
I got 5.
5. It takes a while, but you make a lot of noise. Maybe you, Cedric, Simon, and Vinny, the 3 pigeons you have, the 3 birds you have, all have a go at it. Eventually, like, through some skill, the last sort of pecks off.
They peck their way in.
Like, they just go round the lock.
Yeah.
In this mysterious sci-fi thing, you know what? No, they don't peck. They use their laser eyes that we didn't realise they had just to make the heads move quicker. They just... The doors open. And yes, Woolworths, as we have just kindly improvised, was known as this land of various sweets and stuff. But instead of it being packed up in sort of weird plastic things like it used to be, the whole room itself is almost like difficult terrain. You see hard-boiled sweets. You see the blue raspberry bonbons stuck to the floor. You see mountains of those... And these sweets are huge as well. They're big, right? You see mountains of the horrible, like, gummy teeth ones with fangs. There's big lips. But there's, like, different piles of, like, what they look like anthills of sweets, essentially. And it's deathly quiet. Yeah. And so the team, the crack team of... Sorry, say that again, David?
I've got Wreck-It Ralph in my head.
Oh yeah, the sort of the sweet racetrack. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Without the racing, without any of the cool races, without Wreck-It Ralph. So yes, exactly like Wreck-It Ralph. But with all the sweets and stuff, you sense, and with that working out the sort of that void, you feel like Arthur. You think and you try and feel for this void. Can you do for me? Can you do for me a reading or reading? You're trying to read the area.
That's a 7 minus 2 is 5.
A failure. There's too much interference from sweetie goodness. And definitely decades old chocolate.
Best Arthur can come up with is, so I think we're in Picken, Mexico City.
It's the chocolate it looks like chocolate, but it's got that weird, slightly off-white coating because it's been sat there for so long.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but
the room is infested with chocolate mice.
Oh no! Oh no! So, you've limited, like, through all your research and stuff. You think the artifact is in this room, but with all these sweets and stuff, again, you don't know what else is in here. The toys seem a little skittish to go through, and they say that they have heard strange tales of things being in this room, and so that's why they locked it off a long time ago. But no one can remember because I don't know, plastic doesn't retain memories as good as stone. I think I remember if that theory works or not. But yes, what is the plan to try and find this artifact and see if you can do it in 90 minutes or less?
I think we need to do a LiDAR sweep of the pick and mix.
Hold me up. I will do a check of see if I remember what this room should look like and where people can hide and access all the systems that used to be around. Can I do an awareness?
Absolutely. 2d6 plus your 2, please.
With that awareness, I'm going to lay a trap wherever we think he may be.
Ooh, cool. All right, roll. You got a 5, David? All right, come back to you.
I think the trap is on the ceiling. I think he's on the ceiling. He's about to dive into one of the things, and he's up there. He's going to go swim in the popcorn.
Yeah, your camera's still blurry from when the pigeons were poking at it.
It's got a crack down the middle of it.
Yeah, annoyingly. That's such a shame. So sorry, just to go back to you more. So you wanted to lay a trap for Ken, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, lure him in.
All right, so I'm guessing that's not trap disarmament, is it? That's going to be MacGyver skills again.
Yes.
Go for it.
6 minus 1, I got a 5.
5. So you put together what you think is a decent sized Ken trap. And all it is
Isn't the skill disarming traps?
No. So more
MacGyver.
MacGyvering.
Oh, MacGyver.
Yeah. No, because otherwise it'd be even worse if she was disarming the trap. Yeah, you
Sorry,
set
I'm
up.
having an argument about whether I'm an android or not at the moment.
You set up a tiny box with a stick, and you put in it something that you think Ken dolls love from your very limited experience of it. And for your limited experience of birds, you think, well, birds love seeds, so Ken dolls must also love seeds. So you just put a little pile in there. Unfortunately, though, your friends of Cedric, Simon, and Vinny, they all go for it and set off your trap, and so they are trapped under the box, and they're like, moving.
Arthur looks at the clock on the iPad screen, and it's like, we haven't got time for this. There's only one solution.
Yep.
I'm going in. And he dives into the pick and mix.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right. Do a digging check for me, please. 2d6.
8.
8.
From the iPad, you hear a vague, "Ooh, that tickles."
That's an 8. So what I'd say, because I hadn't mentioned it before, and I appreciate we've got 15 minutes left, so that's not helpful. Does anyone want to help with that check? So we've got an 8, and what they.
I'll help.
So what are you doing to help, Maud?
Enthusiasm.
Excellent. All right, so I need you to roll 2d6. And if you get...
I'm going to cheer
It's a
Arthur on.
cheerleader routine at the age of the picnic.
I've got 11.
Yes! Excellent. So, yes, you move that up, that help up. I'm going to get... You know what? Rule of cool it. Instead of 1, you're going to get 2. So it is a success, Arthur. So you dive in. You start to swim through this thing. And you hear more cheering behind you. Like, yeah, go, you got this. I believe in you, mousy man.
Go, Arthur.
Mousy man with who's very pedantic. Yes, you got this. And as you start to swim through the bonbons and start to swim through the
I get halfway and I'm like, oh, fried eggs. Nobody ever has those.
no, oh, gross. You go past a really
with
hot.
your claws, they're a little bit sharp.
Yeah, you got you. There's the holes. There's a whole ton of chocolate Brazil nuts. You're like, ooh, expensive. Nobody gets those because what a waste.
Suddenly hear this noise. I've inhaled a foam banana.
And you go down and down and down. So suddenly you pop into an underground cave made out of old picker mix. You can see it's got all the rubbish sweets, right? It's got every kind of bad licorice all sort. Not the fruit ones, the licorice all stuck to the walls. You also see a whole bunch of what look like crystals, but shaped in a certain way. Almost, you could say, like a prison. So I remembered we did a tenant about this. And as you look into it, it shines colours. It shines purple, it shines yellow, and it shines green. But also through the light of the sconces, more of these weird off-brand sconces, you see a shape. Somebody's a sort of cat, like over, sort of crunched over. It's like, yes, you've arrived. And you see a Ken doll who's been. I like the idea. Like Ken doll comes around the corner. What was look like a human-sized Ken doll is actually distorted because of the prison light. It's actually a small Ken doll. So it's like, you're here. Good, great. You come to free me.
Yes.
Excellent.
You're needed on the surface.
Ken doll. Bland, boring, dull. No one likes me. Yes, I can come. Take me to.
One step away from take me to your leader.
Take me to the one I remember.
Yes.
Follow my suede.
Oh.
He starts making...
roll fashion sense. Roll fashion sense quickly.
Oh no! Oh, it's a failure. 4.
So instead of blue suede cues playing over the tunes, you get.
It's like, but that's corduroy. It goes off in a completely different direction.
Yes. The Ken doll sort of goes. No, trap. No. They want to. They used me because I'm the one, and you can see in his hand, you can see there's a book. Yeah, I have the reason. I know what happened at the Olympics, but they hid me away. They didn't want to talk about the event. They didn't want to talk about running. He shouts. Yes. That's what happened. That's why I'm down here. Because I saw what happened and they put me down here. Well, it's their own fault, isn't it? Actually, sod them. I was going to go with you and now I'm not going.
Arthur grabs his head. It's like, Ken, nobody can, he doesn't quite say it. Nobody can move rapid. Nobody can move rapidly with their legs.
Rebel. No, rebel. Then you'll be free like me, Arthur.
Arthur grabs a handful of chocolate raisins and stuffs them into Ken's mouth to shut him up. And then makes his way out of the pick and mix.
Brilliant. Do another digging roll for me, please.
That's a bad failure.
Bad failure. You make your way halfway there, but it's slow going. You're getting weighed down by Ken, who is struggling, and up above. Did we say that the building previously known as Tate Modern, you're with Arthur?
Yeah, this is why I was playing Kinky Boots instead of Blue Switch Shoes.
Fair enough. You said...
Also, I was going to say, can we do some mixing? If he's going to stuff some things into his mouth, can we do mixing of random ingredients?
We'll do
it's
that.
not just.
We'll do that in a second, because I quite like the idea. It's just been done, but I've got something for that in a second, so that's fine. What I'd say is that at the same time, as you're making your way back, Arthur, you're holding on to a Kendall that's struggling weakly against it, because I don't know. Yeah, he's in
dairy intolerance, and he's got a mouthful of chocolate raisins.
No, you fed him the milk bottles. The milk bottles.
Oh yeah, you stuff in a few of those as you go past. Maud, back on the surface, you're cheering, and you see something. The rest of the team is still with you because they kind of came along. Maybe they helped with the cheer routine. They're just like,
I'm throwing seed like confetti.
Yeah, and then you see a movement in the pick and mix ocean, and you hear a rumble, and Walking Out body goes, "Oh no," and turns to you dramatically. So again, like, "Oh no."
Oh dear, he's coming back.
Oh,
is he going to have Ken with him?
No, it's worse than that. It's the hippos, the hungry hippos. And you see,
get us some seed.
You see. At four corners of this bloody ocean, you just hear a jump, 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 as in the corner a blue hippo comes, and these things are hippo-sized. And so, Maud, what are you going to do to help your friends who they're coming back? You can sense them coming back. You can hear Kinky Boots playing in the ocean. What are you doing to help them?
Oh, I am going to. Oh God. All I want to do is backflip out the ocean.
Do it! Backflip! Save yourself! Backflip!
10 plus 2, 12.
You succeed! You easily backflip out of the room. You're safe. Meanwhile,
back to my words.
Meanwhile, underneath the ocean, being formerly known as the Tate Modern, you put yourself on shuffle and you start playing the Jaws music as behind you. Hungry hippos come for you.
Can I do that?
Arthur.
Go for it.
Sorry.
Kind of a way to make Arthur move quickly.
Certainly can. If you roll for me it's not going to be a move quickly.
Move quickly?
It's not for you, it's not. So hang on one second. I want you to...
Well,
Enthusiasm. Roll enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, right. I got a 10.
Oh, success. Okay, so whatever the next roll is for you, Arthur, you're going to get a +1 to it.
Right. So Arthur.
It's a oh fuck oh.
Yeah.
So Arthur is going to.
Oh no!
Arthur is going to use the animal whispering skills to call upon the help of the trapped pigeons who are underneath the pick and mix.
Yes.
To grab him and pull him out.
Do it.
It's a 9 plus 1 plus the modifier from David.
Success! You do it. So I like the idea. Here's how I picture the sea. You see that chomp, 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 and it's getting very graphic in terms of these sweets are breaking out. Those milk bottles are gone. The foam bananas are flying out the way, and being formally known, you play a remix of the Jaws theme, which is like it's the sexy remix, which is like da-na, da-na. Da, 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 da. And as you again, Arthur, you feel it in your heart. You're like, I could do this, and you sort of do your own little Pocahontas sort of like, ooh, and the box on the surface, we zoom into it, and 3 pigeons burst out of it. They swan dive in.
John Woo.
They grab bits of your brown suit, your suede stuff up. They pull you out. Even Cedric, who falls over because he's got balance issues, they pull you out. And again, a glorious moment as you're pulled out. There's a hippo behind you with the Ken doll, and you sort of like up. You go up, and it snaps, and you manage to get up into the room. They're all out. The dolls shut the door and go, "That's why we don't go to Wolves."
Arthur reaches into his backpack, pulls out a tartan thermos. And it's like, well, I don't know about everybody else, but I could do with a nice cup of tea.
Amazing. And that is where we're going to leave. You awaken in a strange place. Thank you so much to my players. Thank you so much to Jacob Andrews, who designed this game. You can get this game on itch for free. I highly recommend it. It's super, super fun. It's super, super easy. And you can just see, there's a lot of notes I created. The first thing I wrote down was Barbie Council. And then I wrote fight, Care Bears, big room. That's all I got. And then I was busy trying to look up what the Toys R Us theme tune was. And that was all I wrote for that adventure. So you can have a lot of fun. We're going to go around once more, and then I'm just going to say quick thanks to the con organisers and thanks for letting us do this stream. So if we go round in opposite order, so we go Sarah, Mark, and David, and then we'll finish with myself. Take it away for us, Sarah.
So I'm Sarah, and you can find me at A Barrel of Crafts on Instagram.
Very much. Mark.
I am Mark from the Folklore Podcast. You can find everything about podcasts at thefolklorepodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at folklorepod. You can also find some more stupid gaming bonus content with archaeology themes at times, actually, on the Folklore Podcast website in the bonus content section.
Very much. And David.
Yes, I am David. I run the Drunken Storyteller Twitch stream where I abuse Fiona and Mark in space when
with
nobody
consent.
can hear. With consent. Well, yes. I run a lot of streaming, a lot of indie stuff. I think we do. We do a lot of the less well-known stuff out there. I also do a folklore-ish podcast called The Drunken Storyteller as well, where I just tell stories and do silly things. There's going to be an episode coming out in the next couple of days where we talk about yeeting bees at people and colour-changing dogs. So if that's kind of your bag, there's also a little bit of history and archaeology in there because I've just moved to a new place with some cool stuff. So go check that out. Fiona is one of my regular players. We're basically going to be... You're there all the time.
It's my
so if you want to see
room.
Fiona do things...
And Fiona, who are you?
Who am I? Well, my name is Fiona. Who am I? I am Fiona. What am I? Well, I'm a podcaster and I'm an improviser and I do some voiceover stuff. Where am I? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. What am I rolling is a twice monthly RPG Watcher podcast where we do silly things like this. We do all sorts from D&D if you're interested in like who. But also like stuff like this was completely improvised. We also do interviews with game designers. We also do stuff, a lot of free league stuff we've done recently, all the way from like proper crunchy rules like OSR stuff, all the way to really, really simple one-page one-shots like Honey Heists and Goat Crashes and all that sort of thing. I also run a podcast which is about D&D lore called the DM's Book Club, where it's a weekly chat about various D&D things. So if you're like, I only like one RPG system, and I go, cool, I also like that, but it's lots more. You can check those out. That's What Am I Rolling and DM's Book Club. Find them wherever you listen to podcasts. And I just want to take this moment because we've only got 2 minutes left. Say a massive thank you to the con organisers for letting us. I hope it fulfilled the brief of some sort of archaeology. And there was digging, and there was some excavation. But I appreciate having the time on the stream and having a time to do this. And again, thank you to these wonderful players who completely made that one shot. And we finished it. And we'll never see that world again. What a shame. But thank you so much. And I'm going to ask the players to wave awkwardly whilst I find the off switch. And thank you. Enjoy the rest of the con and check everything else out. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howat. This episode's players were David, Mark, and Sarah. This episode's RPG was You Awaken in a Strange Place, a fully improvised RPG for 4 players by Jacob Andrews. You can find out more information about You Awaken in a Strange Place on itch.io. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for latest news on upcoming episodes. And remember, adventurers need not apply.